The day he got arrested, I was with him in the apartment, and it was a horrific day. They stormed in at 5:50 in the morning. On us, 20 prosecutors came into the apartment, and they told Carlos, you're arrested, and they made him get dressed, and as he was leaving, he tried to take a piece of chocolate to put in his pocket, and they wouldn't let him take it. And then he wanted to take a book, and they said, no book, no chocolate. So I was outraged. I said, why can't he take that? And he said, this is Japan, these are our rules. And then they took Carlos, and I was left 4 hours in the apartment, and there was a moment I wanted to go to the bathroom. They made this woman go into the bathroom with me to watch me.
With you?
With me. And I went in 4 times. She would do a body check, and she would check me, and then I wanted to take a shower. I was in my pajamas, I wanted to get dressed. She was in there in the shower, and she even handed me the towel.
Why do you think that you were getting this kind of treatment?
I think they wanted to humiliate us, and I guess to intimidate and humiliate us. That's what it was all about.
And this is the second time he was arrested. First time goes back to November.
Correct. Carlos gets off the plane in Japan, and he goes in to get his visa checked, and then they take him to a room. They say, something's wrong with your visa, and there was a prosecutor sitting there. And he tells him, you're under arrest. He doesn't tell him why. He takes him to the detention centers, no questions asked, and they throw him in jail. 2 days later, the French ambassador comes to visit Carlos, and Carlos says, please, could you tell Nissan to send a lawyer? I'm arrested. And he said, oh, no, Nissan, they're the ones who are accusing you. And so Carlos spent altogether 130 days in detention.
What kind of conditions was it?
Okay, but he had the lights on all the time, day and night. They took his watch away, so they wanted to disorient him, and it was like a kind of an emotional and mental abuse.
Did you have any idea that anything like this would happen through the years?
He had no clue. He was, betrayed, stabbed in the back, nothing. And I wish, if they really felt that there was a problem, why didn't the auditors of Nissan go to the board and say something? None of it. It was all hidden. It was all taken by surprise, and he gets arrested and is taken to the detention center. No warning. I mean, is this how we run a company?
How long do you think that was in the making?
From what we know now, it started in the spring of 2018.
Just a revolt internally against his ideas.
Yes, and I think they went to the prosecutors, and who knows who else was involved.
Did he ever confide in you over the years about worries about the company's board?
No, nothing. I think they took him by surprise. It was a total shock. And I'm sure this could have been dealt internally. This did not need all this going to a detention center and having these criminal charges. I mean, this was something that the company could have dealt with.
What do you mean?
I mean, I think, I don't think now we know it's a conspiracy. Nissan did not want this merger. A few people within Nissan decided to get rid of my husband, that was the easiest way not to do the merger. But I mean, it didn't have to be, there was maybe a more civilized way of doing it.
And now that you see the proposed Fiat-Renault merger,
now, I mean, it's clear how Nissan doesn't want to be involved, and they want nothing to do with it. I mean, I think with time we will see more clarity on this story, and people now realize that this was a conspiracy against my husband.
And what do you tell the people who look at some of the allegations, personal use of money through company funds, and there's article after article, who wonder whether this was a big criminal act from a corporate titan?
What they did, they took part of the truth and then they twisted it to make it look negative. And it's been vicious, and it's not true. And it's shocking how they were able to destroy my husband's image. I think they did it on purpose. They said, we're going to fight this in the trial, and we're going to do this image, and we're going to destroy his image. And one day, with time, the truth will come out, and everyone will see that it's not true. These accusations are all twisted. This didn't happen this way.
And you think it all goes back to Japan Inc.?
I think it all goes back to Japan Inc., absolutely.
And this pushback against Nissan Renault.
Exactly. They didn't feel they wanted to be part of a French company and to lose their identity. And I don't think they were, from what I understood from my husband, he didn't have the intentions. He wanted to keep separate identities. And I wish they approached him and told him the truth. We don't want this, instead of doing this. Personally, I'm afraid to go to Japan. I will go because my husband's there. But as a tourist or as a businessman, I would be aware. Look at my husband, a businessman who saved Nissan from bankruptcy, who spent 20 years dedicated to this company and made it flourish and helped the economy of Japan. And they arrest him by surprise. They don't even question him. And then he spends this much time in a detention center. And we still don't know the end results. We don't know if he's going to get a fair trial.
So you've been making this public, including speaking to us. What sort of reception have you gotten when you've gone around the world to governments?
People are very supportive of this cause. I'd like to see more involvement of the governments, because this is not just, this is political. This is bigger than Carlos, the story. This is about, two governments trying to merge a company, and my husband was the collateral damage in this.
You're talking France.
France and Japan. Mm-hmm. But also, I'm an American citizen. I would like, President Trump as my president to, when he's at the G20, to address these issues with Prime Minister Abe. There's three things. First, I would like my husband to get a fair trial. And I want them to respect this presumption of innocence, which in Japan we feel that as soon as he landed on that Japanese soil on November 19th, he was guilty before proven innocent. And the third thing, I'd like to speak to my husband. I miss him dearly, and I wish I could go and be with him at the hardest time of our lives and to take care of him.
And so what does the timeline look like from here? So he faces...
Well, now they said the pre-trial has just started, and next year is the trial, and it may take 1 and 2 years for all this to end, it sounds so far away. And when you're so you don't know what the future holds, and it doesn't look like it's a positive future. You live with so much anxiety and fear. It's hard.